What's going on, awesome people? Welcome to another episode of Awesome People, the Instagram live series. Such a pleasure to have you once again. Man, it's Tuesday, December 21st. Can't believe that it's been 21 straight days of IG Lives, and I want to thank those of you who have been joining every day or often or even for the first time. Welcome, and it's great to have you, and hopefully these conversations have been of value to you. Hopefully they've been entertaining to you. Hopefully they've been insightful, inspirational, motivational, educational, whatever it is. I'm very grateful that it has allowed us to come together as a community. So like I said, I've been grateful for these conversations, and today is another special one that I'm having. It'll be with Candice Madanipour. I'll introduce her in a second. But I do want to also let you guys know that every single IG Live so far, I've started with 10 seconds of gratitude, because I just think that, you know, our days can be pretty wild sometimes, and having a little short reset will really help recalibrate us. So join me for 10 seconds, closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, and counting your blessings. Here I go. All right, there it is. Thank you so much for being a part of that gratitude, 10-second gratitude. It does a lot for me, and I hope it does something for you as well. So let me just jump right into it. My guest today is an attorney from Orange County, and she is an individual that has been working for 12 years, passionately representing families. Her specialty is in family law, high asset divorce litigation, prenups, contract review, civil litigation, custody disputes, and collections. And the reason why I wanted her here today is because she is Persian, and she has a lot of Persian clients. Unfortunately, divorce is a fact of life for many people. It's very unfortunate, but there are ways that both individuals and family members can work together to make it be a very respectful parting of ways, especially when there's children involved. And really, one of the reasons why I wanted her to be a part of this conversation is because I know how much she cares about the children that are affected during these divorces. And I thought, as an unfortunate of a conversation to have, it is definitely one that is important. So hopefully all of you will find it of value. And so at this point, I would like to bring her on. So Candice John, if you could please click the request to join so I can be able to patch you in. So like I said, it should be a very interesting conversation, and if you want to be able to ask some questions at some point, feel free to do so, and we're going to try to squeeze it in. There's definitely a lot of things that I want to unpack here with Candice, and so hopefully we'll get to some questions, but either way, just love to have you engage, and just knowing that you are a part of this conversation. And while I continue to wait for Candice John to click the join button, yesterday I announced the details of our Zendegi 5-hour special edition coming up on December 29th. It's a 5-hour nothing but Persian music live stream featuring DJ Kia, DJ Sam, DJ Yazdan on Wednesday, December 29th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can click the link in my bio to set a reminder. It's a pretty cool experience to have. I promise you it's going to be fun. We're going to be restarting the Zendegi live stream every single week on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you love Persian music, and you want to be in tune with all the latest, greatest hits, then you can hopefully join us for Zendegi. So mark your calendars for December 29th, and hopefully we'll have a good time together as we recap an incredible year, especially at Unite and Conquer, where we were able to build a tiny but mighty community so far. And with your support, with your viewership, I hope to grow this community even bigger so we can make a massive impact together. We can do a lot more together. So I wasn't expecting Candice now to request to join right now, so I'm kind of just waiting for her to join. In the meantime, I appreciate you guys waiting around, and let me just kind of do a little message. This is live TV, so bear with me for a second. Hold on one second. If you guys have any questions in the meantime, feel free to ask. Appreciate your patience. I keep on looking to see if she's requesting to join. Well, you know what? This is interesting. I'm surprised it's actually the first time happening. 21 straight days. Everything has been smooth. All of our guests have come on board. And there we go. She just responded to the message, and we'll expect to have her on in just a few minutes. All right. So what's going on, guys? How's life? Are you guys ready for the holidays? Who's ready for the holidays? Who's ready to put on a few pounds, huh? I'm the only one? Okay, good to know. But I'm definitely ready for Christmas this weekend. Hopefully a couple days of relaxation, but the IG lives will continue. I will have one IG live every single day for the rest of the month, making it 31 straight days, which was a challenge and was a goal of mine, and I'm happy to have gotten to 21 days. And it's happening, and it's joyful because of those of you that have been joining. Dr. Haynes, how are you, my dear? Great to see you from Miami. I'm happy as well. Oh, happy Yalda! Thank you so much for Chitra Photo for reminding me. Thank you so much. I'm actually going to go to my niece's house. We're going to have some anor, and we're going to have some wine. Although my sister said that the combination of anor and wine is not very good, so I'll take it easy on the anor. And okay, so Candice, there's a little camera plus sign that you should be able to click, and then it'll say request to join. So at the bottom of the screen, there's a little button right there. Candice is asking for how to join, so I'm trying to guide her to this. Hey, Pirates of June, how are you? Kia, what's up? Great to see you guys. Always a pleasure. Thanks for not tuning out. I promise you want to stay on here. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to explain to Candice how to join. If there's an easier way to help explain to Candice how to join, because I don't know what you guys are seeing right now on your screen. I believe it's the little plus sign on the left of a human, right? All right. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. There's a plus button. Yes, there's a plus button. Okay, good. All right. Great. Okay, so you guys see that too. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you click that plus button, Candice, and then you just click request to join, and then that's when I'll patch you in. So what are you guys doing for Yalda, huh? Tell me. What are some fun stuff? Are you guys playing some Shabbat Yalda music? Is there some poetry you guys are reading? Some Rumi? Some Hafiz? Okay, so someone just says she can step out and come back in. Then she can request. It says request to join by the comments with the plus camera. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. Pizza is enjoying... I'm like, pizza is enjoying pizza. Kia is enjoying pizza. It's good to know. Not exactly the most Persian of things, unless you put ketchup on it. Who here puts ketchup on pizza, by the way? I've realized that you have to be super Persian to be doing that. I just can't, I can't get myself to enjoy ketchup. I'm more of a ranch guy with pizza. I'm not sure if you guys do that. And I do have to say I don't mind pineapple on pizza as well sometimes. And I know that's like a nay-nay for a lot of people. What am I going to do? Pirates, are you going to have a live set by DJ Kia on December 29th for sure? I see you oh, there she is. There's Candice. All right, all right, all right. Here we go. All right. So happy to have her here with us. All right. Hi, Candice. How are you?
Hi. Sorry about that. I tried to join from my computer.
No. Oh, okay. So that's probably why. It's a little bit of different prompts. All
Hi.
right.
Sorry about that.
No problem. You know, this is what you call fashionably late. You know, you look lovely. Yeah. Love the backdrop.
Persian
great.
Style. Not my style.
I'm not.
No, I'm not good with technology, as you can see, but I'm here.
All good. It's okay. Your specialty is something much more important than that, and that is being a great lawyer and specializing in family law and divorce law and all that stuff. So I'd rather you just go ahead and give a little background as far as yourself and your professional background, if you don't mind.
Thank you. Well, I went to law school. Actually, I started out being a pharmaceutical rep. I was a marketing major, and I worked for Pfizer for 3 years. I was selling a power portfolio. I was selling Zyrtec, Lipitor, Viagra in the height of when that first came out. But it wasn't very fulfilling, and I knew that I really wanted to do something else. And my mom, being the Persian mom, said, I didn't come to this country for you to just, be a salesperson. So, with that influence, my mom was a CPA, very successful, went to USC. And I thought, you know what, she's right. I want to go to law school. I think I can help people. I was interested in law. And so I did. I went to law school, and I said to myself, I'm not going to go to family law. I'm not going to do criminal law. It's the two areas that are most emotional, and I'm not doing it.
Oh, wow.
But ended up doing it because I actually did a summer clinic where I won the largest trial award for the student legal clinic for family law. And having that on my resume, obviously a lot of firms were interested in recruiting me. And as a student, I had some experience, real experience with family law. I ended up loving it, and here I am 12 years later.
Nice. And I know that you obviously have clients outside of the Persian community as well, but one of the reasons why I was like, I really would love to have this conversation with somebody like you is because obviously, our community is mostly Persian. And then after speaking to you, I realized that there's a lot of things that you yourself feel like it's important for you to share with the Persian community. So if and when they are faced with an unfortunate situation of a separation, that, that there's some guidance that's given, so that especially if there's children involved, that, the impact is as minimal as possible. So touch on a little bit about, the experience that you've had dealing with multiple cases with Persians, and how as a community and just individuals, we can learn to kind of go through that difficult process in the smoothest way humanly possible,
Yeah, I think one of the things that's really important for us culturally is that we need to learn to co-parent better. The average age of a divorcing couple is 30 years old. And 80% of those divorcing couples actually get remarried. What that means is there's new dynamics. There's a concept of a modern family. There's step parents involved. There's stepchildren involved. There's step grandparents involved. And I think that unfortunately, our culture is not equipped to handle these kinds of things, because the idea is, oh, she is my wife. He is my husband. They are my children. And this is a foreign concept. And so we have to be more open for the benefit of the children. I see that other cultures, non-Iranians, especially white Americans, are very good at co-parenting. They have joint birthday parties where the other side's partner, the divorced couple's partners, are there. They're having these kinds of dynamics, and it's loving and it's caring. And it's refreshing, frankly. But a lot of times in the Persian community, it is a taboo to see your former spouse with a new spouse. It's a foreign idea for us culturally, and I think we need to become better at that. Also, I think with respect to co-parenting, a lot of the times culturally, the women are stay-at-home moms, and so they believe that, oh, I fed them, I bathed them, I took them to school, I took them to the doctor, and therefore my husband didn't do anything. He was the primary breadwinner. However, divorced parents make good parents, actually, and you're forced to be in roles that you normally are not in. Fathers are becoming more adept at feeding the children, bathing the children, taking them to school, and taking them to the doctors. And if they're qualified to do that, if they're learning and they want to, and they're good fathers, why not? So I end up teaching a lot of the women, especially, that please be open. This is beneficial for your child. These children get to spend time with their fathers in a way that they might never have had the opportunity to do so. So I find that dynamic pretty interesting. I find it a learning experience, a teaching experience for me, and a learning experience for a lot of my Iranian clients.
So what is the way that we can kind of improve? Is it just more conversations about this? I mean, like or do you have some basic steps that you can share? And you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's kind of common sense, because you should be doing whatever you can to make sure your children are in a great, healthy environment. But obviously, you just mentioned culturally, we're just not like that. How do we unbreak this chain? What do you suggest that we can all do to help make these situations a little better?
I think we teach them. I think we have a lot of lawyers in our community, and I think we have a lot of therapists in our community. I know you had Ida on, and she's a great therapist. There's a lot of very, very qualified therapists, and we have to just educate ourselves and do some reading and listen. The thing is, we need to listen. I think the clients need to listen and trust. If you come to me because I have the experience, I have talked to the doctors, I've talked to the judges. And in fact, a lot of the judges say, I'm going to see who is the parent who is more likely to allow frequent and continuing contact. Because if you're withholding visitation of your kids from the other parent unreasonably, I'm going to take away visitation from you. So you need to be reasonable. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't reasons, there's not valid reasons, and we can get into that later. But I'm talking about the people that are reasonably equipped and skilled to do that and to learn. So I think educating ourselves, having these kinds of conversations with you, I think is educating a lot of people.
So you mentioned family therapy. Have you noticed that, when you deal with clients that have gone through it, that there's a tremendous amount, like, does it take a massive burden off of you during that process? Like, how much of a believer are you in family therapy before it even gets to divorce, or even like during this proceeding? I just love your take on family therapy in general as it relates to this.
Yeah, in fact, that's one of my intake questions is, have you gone to family therapy? Are you just resorting to divorce immediately? Is there anything? I am a divorce attorney, but I love the families. I have a kid. I'm actually divorced, but I didn't want to be divorced. It was hard to become divorced. Unfortunately, a lot of the cultural implications fed into myself and my relationship, and I tried. And I think that family therapy is absolutely important for many reasons. One is, I think it teaches you to become a good co-parent. I think that family therapy is important to see what are you doing? How can you benefit yourself? A lot of the times in our culture, it's like, I'm taking him to change him, or I'm taking her to change her and show her that she's wrong. When you have to look at, hey, what am I doing here? What do I need to do to help this? And at that point, I feel like family therapy, if you have tried it, if you have gone through years of it and you still come to the decision, then maybe it's just not meant to be. And it's okay. And we have to normalize it, just like you said. We have to normalize it because a lot of people are staying in positions that they really shouldn't be. They're dangerous, and they're mentally dangerous to some of the children.
I'm very curious, and I don't at all mean to throw our parents under the bus, but I feel like a lot of the things that we've gone as Iranian Americans growing up here, it's been passed down through generations to no fault to our parents, and so I'm curious, like, when you have clients in their 30s that are getting divorced, how much of an impact have the Persian parents had during this process, like good or bad, and how can we make sure that they also improve as far as their involvement in this? Because I have a feeling they play a huge role in this, perhaps unlike Americans. I could be wrong. This is just my opinion.
No, you're absolutely correct. 100%. I don't have any other ethnicity that comes in to a consultation, a divorce consultation with their parents more than Persians. And sometimes I ask to speak separately because I feel like it adds fuel to the fire sometimes. Oh, you need to get this, or you need to get that, or you're entitled to 50%. No, I'm the lawyer here. Let me explain the law, and that's not always the case. No, that's not how we play these things. That's actually not beneficial to you to have that kind of attitude. And unfortunately, the other side is true too, where the children stay in marriages that they really are really unhappy with, and because their parents say so. Gozasht is this word. Gozasht bokon. Ebi nadare. And we're talking about some situations that, again, are dangerous. Domestic violence exists. The children are being abused mentally, and the kids are perpetuating that. Then there's this cycle, and that's what we learn. Domestic violence abuse victims perpetuate that. A lot of times, if you experience domestic abuse, then you go into an abusive relationship as an adult.
Right, and actually, that's definitely one part of this conversation that I wanted to highlight. It's again not the best thing to highlight, but if we can learn from it as a society and as human beings, then we should address these tough conversations. But I know that when we were talking, the domestic abuse part is something that hits home to you very much. I mean, you have to deal with this on a daily basis. So first of all, kudos to you for having to take on that pressure, because you're constantly thinking about it, and it's hard to just compartmentalize it. So what are some of the things that you want to share about domestic violence that's happening as a result of these divorces, and if there's anything that are red flags that we should be looking out for, or how families can come to the support of the female or the male, because I understand it could also be the other way around. So unpack that for us, please.
Absolutely. I think that as a culture, we're all very passionate people, right? We're passionate. Iranians are passionate, and that's good and bad, right? So, and that comes into play. We speak loudly. We, a lot of Iranians, we slam doors, and we don't speak the way that we should respect our partners. And it goes both ways. And I think that people historically think about abuse as physical violence, but it's not always physical violence. And they just changed the code this year in 2021, January, to basically add to domestic violence in California that intimidation tactics, fear of immigration status, incessant calling, and threats are also part of the domestic violence code. So it's not, you don't have to physically touch someone or harm somebody or beat somebody up. You don't have to draw blood to be able to be convicted of domestic violence. So these are things we need to look at. You cannot just threaten somebody, mikoshamet. That's a daily thing. Oh, Miko, it's actually a very loving thing too. And in fact, somebody actually used that against one of my clients, and I was able to hire a cultural expert to say, no, actually in this context, it didn't actually mean that, because it was a loving, endearing term. People take advantage of the domestic violence statute too, and we have to be aware of cultural implications. And I always warn my clients, don't use that language anymore. Try to be mindful.
And there was also one thing that we were talking about, even regarding restraining orders, that, and also people who are trying to pull fast ones by, spreading money laundering, essentially. Like, is there something that you want to kind of touch on with regards to either of those things?
Yeah, I think that for financial reasons, I think that a lot of people in our community are self-employed. Especially the older generation, they're self-employed. We own gas stations, we own, mechanic shops, grocery stores, those kinds of things. Those are things that financially, it's easy to hide and shelter income. And it may be okay under the IRS code, right? You may be able to get away with it, but for family law purposes, you won't get away with it. There's a way that you're living. And I have a client who, makes millions and millions and millions of dollars and lives in a $8 million house, yet says that he makes negative something income. Well, I told him, I said, the judge is going to ask you, well, how are you living? If you're amassing all this savings, you're not going to be able to do that. They're going to add back all of the perks that you're writing off in the business. They're going to add that back for purposes of child support and spousal support. So let's not go on the stand and say, Your Honor, I don't make any money at all. Let's be a little credible. And that's why I hire experts to really look at what the real income is. And you know, I tell my clients all the time, you either want to pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars, or you want to pay the mother of your children or the father of your children. Because nowadays we have a lot of women that are now in these roles that are not traditionally or culturally, you know, historically the Iranian roles that we used to be in. We have
Right.
female doctors, attorneys, and a lot of the men were stay-at-home dads. So they're ending up paying support. Well, I shouldn't have to pay a man support. No, it's an even playing field. And we all are, it's fair game.
You have a tough job, Candice. You know, kudos to you for being able to handle those intricate situations. I want to start getting towards ending things on a lighter note. You do a lot of great things for the community. There was a Christmas story that you wanted to share, and then I know that you are the pro bono lawyer for an incredible organization called Child. So I'd like to kind of have you share the details of both, please, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah. So I was introduced to a family in 2015, I believe it was, and the Public Law Center reached out to me saying that there was an Iranian lady who could not speak English, who needed some help with a divorce. At the time, I didn't know the gravity of the situation, and I contacted her and learned that she had been stabbed 7 times during a custodial exchange in front of her. I believe it was her 6-year-old child and her 9-year-old child at the time. The guy was in jail, but he was the primary breadwinner, and she had no money. She did not have a way to pay for her rent. She was driving a car that had an airbag deployed. And it was, I believe it was 12 years old. And through the organization Child, we were actually able to give her a car. It was donated anonymously. And we decided to adopt that family. Her daughter is older. She's a teenager, but she has a lot of problems, you know, nightmares and that sort of thing. And every year we basically adopt that family, and we provide them with gifts and Christmas tree and make their Christmas a little bit better. And last year, 2 years ago, I'm sorry, last year was COVID. 2 years ago, we were able to raise enough money to take them to Universal Studios. The mother cried, the kids cried. They loved Harry Potter, and there was the land of Harry Potter. And I took them because the mother cannot drive long distances. They had never been. And the mother cried and said it was the best day of her life.
I love that. That's incredible. And like, you guys are doing something with the organization still, and you said you had like a link that we can kind of share and support. Is that through your bio, or can you give more information about that?
Yeah, I actually am doing a project with Orange County Persian moms. And we have a lot of members that have donated to this family, and actually 2 other adopted families through Child that we're helping. And we have, one of the 5-year-olds wanted Minion stuff. So we've collected a lot of Minion toys. A 16-year-old wanted some, you know, costume jewelry and some basic things. But I can share that with you later on, and
I'll make sure to
or they
add
can,
it.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'll make sure that we add it into the description of the YouTube link. Can you tell us a little bit more about Child? And I definitely would love to get to know Hala Khatami, which I believe is the founder of it. I mean, you guys are doing amazing things together, so I want to make sure that we can shine a small spotlight on their efforts. But what is Child exactly?
Child is Children's Hope International Literacy Development. And I don't know when it was started, but they have adopted a lot of the Afghan families and helped provide for them. They sponsor a lot of Iranian families that are unfortunate, that have been hit with either medical illnesses. One of the families that they've assisted with, actually the mother's sister has MS. Her mother had a tumor. They have 1 car between them and a 4-year-old son. And all he wanted this year was a rocket ship. He said, I want Santa to bring a rocket ship. And Santa is going to bring him a rocket ship. But Child does a lot of amazing. and people can contact them and sponsor a lot of different programs, and they can contribute in different ways.
I love it. I'm going to make sure to add their contact information in the description as well. So we do actually have time for you to answer this one question that you said had an interesting response, and that is, how has COVID changed the practice of law? I'm very curious myself now.
Yeah, well, it's really benefited a lot of clients financially because we have been forced to do Zoom hearings, just like we're doing this chat live. It is a specific time, we are scheduled there, and the clients are not paying for travel time to the court, wait time in the court, traffic on the way to court. They're paying for the actual time that we're spending with the judge for our case. And a lot of times when I did go in person, I could not be on my phones. The bailiff would say nobody can be on the phones. I'd be waiting for 2-3 hours, charging the clients for that time, idle, sitting idle, waiting for the court to hear my case. Whereas now we're put in a waiting room. I can work on somebody else's case and not charge my client for that idle time. And I think it's beneficial. I think it has made the courts efficient. It has allowed the courts to be able to help a lot more people and move forward with a lot of cases.
I want to have you end why you love what you do so much, and why perhaps the next generation of Iranian men and women, they should also pursue your path, because you're doing some amazing things and it's coming from a very well-intended part. And so it's great for the community to have people on their side like you. So what drives you? What makes you love this so much?
You know, I will tell you that it is incredibly difficult. It is incredibly difficult because I am passionate about what I do. And I do take it to heart, a lot of these cases. But I think it also, I get to see the transformation of a lot of different people. Like I said at the beginning, I see dads who were never really involved with their kids on a day-to-day basis go to the games, take their kids to soccer, take their kids to school, be able to cook for them and spend quality time in a way that they never have. I've also seen women take control of their finances. Women who have never written a check before, write a check, budget for themselves. We're growing. We're growing as people. We're growing as individuals. And for me to get to see that is an honor, and I cherish what I do. I feel honored to be able to serve, especially the Iranian community.
Awesome. I actually just want to ask you a question. People cannot utilize your services if they're outside of California, right? Or how does, like, can they get advice from you through Zoom, or are you limited to helping people that are residents of California?
So I only practice in California. However, a lot of my clients are in Iran getting divorced because they have assets in California. So yes, my practice is limited to California at this time. However, that doesn't mean if they need to get a divorce in California, they can't communicate with me. So a lot of my clients are in Dubai or, different countries, but they need some residency jurisdictional requirements for California.
Got it. Okay. So if somebody still needs to contact you, so you can kind of advise them in some shape or form, they can definitely contact you. Aside from through your Instagram page that you're on right now, what's the next best way to get in contact with you to get the legal support that they need?
Yeah, they can contact me at my office number, 949-754-3140. They can reach out to me on Facebook. I have had a lot of people reach out to me on Facebook because I'm a member of many different Facebook groups like Irvine Moms and different things. So Facebook, Instagram, phone number, email, madanipourlawgroup@gmail.com.
All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Candice, for sharing your insight, your experience. And I'm very proud of you as a fellow Persian for you doing something great for the community. What you're doing for Child is incredible. And hopefully we'll find out more about Child through Hale or somebody that wants to represent that great organization with a little chat. So wishing you and your family an amazing holiday season. And thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you too. And thank you for all that you're doing. Appreciate it.
Merci. Khuda Hafiz. Bye.
Merci.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So as the wonderful Candice is logging off, just a friendly reminder that tomorrow my guest is going to be Sepide Evazi. She is a fabulous event manager of massive size events, corporate style. And I'm really looking forward to having her share her experience, not just as an event planner of corporate levels, but also she's got a very cool tea company that she created over the pandemic, and I'm excited to kind of share more details about that. And that's that. So join me tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on IG Live. And don't forget, December 29th is Zendegi, a special 5-hour episode, nothing but Persian music starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Wishing you guys a wonderful day. And if you have any recommendations or nominations for an awesome Persian, entrepreneur, artist, creator, somebody that's doing something really, really great in the community, please send me a message, and would love to get connected to what they're doing and who they are and all that good stuff. Our goal is to just share as many stories of awesome people as possible. Take care, be well, and be safe. Much love.